My mixtapes bend others to my will. It's a strange, almost cosmic talent.
Go back to a time where summers lasted forever, when friendships were unbreakable and any trouble was good trouble.
This year, I want to ride a flaming stallion of delinquency.
Yes!
What's your name again?
From Beethoven and Dinosaur comes an adventure a lifetime in the making. Experience the freedom of the teenage wasteland, sneaking out, making out, avoiding the law, and maybe something a little more.
Hey, can I stand up?
Yeah, little Rockford, go nuts!
Set to the soundtrack of a generation.
What are we gonna think of ourselves in 10 years?
I'll just remember to tell myself it felt important at the time.
Your greatest memories are stored in music. You're invited to go back in Mixtape.
There have been noise complaints.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Gene the Bean and Jaffe are here with you. Thank you for joining us today, Gene. How's it going? Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Father Jaffe.
I know. I feel like I'm so grateful for all of the people who decided to skip their mom celebration and show up and be here with us talking about this very divisive video game, which is really, I mean, I have seen a lot of, by the way, if you don't, I'm Jaffe, you're at my channel, but Gene and I do a show from time to time, Gaming Exposed, Gene Park, not just Washington Post video game guy anymore. Not that you were only ever a video game guy, but now you're like culture guy. You're everything now.
Yeah, I mean, we laid off like 50%. There was a Thanos snap of layoffs. So
yes.
So it's like we got to cover more.
But that's good, right? You're covering music again.
Well, that's the thing. Like I should be like upset, right? Like, oh, covering video games should be enough, but like I kind of don't care, and I've always been wanting to dabble in other cultural beats too. So
are you? I know this is none of my business, but are they paying you more for doing more?
No, I'm negotiating that. So yeah.
Okay, good. Well, everybody read Gene shit. It's the best stuff. Well, I don't know if it's the best stuff because I don't read all their stuff, but it's a joy to read. It's nice to have video game criticism and debate and discussion articulated well versus the shit we usually get. Now, speaking of, we're going to get into Mixtape. That's all we're going to talk about today. We'll take your calls if you want. We'll take your super chats if you want. We appreciate them. Gene and I split them 50-50. I save them for retirement. Gene spends them on cocaine and hookers, but regardless, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
But Mixtape came out. I have not seen a game on the internet be this divisive in quite a long time. I don't know if that's just because I'm engaged with it because I loved this game so much, or do you think this is a little bit more than usual?
I think this is a little bit more than usual. I agree.
Any thoughts as to why this game has created such a fissure?
It's a kind of a I don't want to say perfect storm because it doesn't, for whatever. Well, it's even a perfect storm because there are people out there like being delusional that it has anything to do with like LGBTQ representation or anything like that, or it's woke whatsoever when it's just completely about straight white kids. And it's funny that when I mentioned that it's about straight white kids, people get triggered because I say the word white, and it's like. And it's like, no, it's white culture. It's good white culture, man. Like I love Silverchair. I love the Jesus and Mary Chain. Yeah, Billy Corgan is a powerful white man. He made some powerful white songs for white culture. It's some good shit. There's
I
nothing
mean,
wrong with saying like white, you know. It just
that's amazing. People are coming at you for that. I mean, I didn't you in your review say, because you gave it 3 out of 4 stars in your review, you said, I don't remember if you said this in Twitter or your review, that this was like one of the whitest things ever, or somebody said that. It may not have been you, but
I didn't even say that. Yeah, I mean, like,
Okay.
it is like a pretty white game, but you know,
yeah, I think the Cassandra character is probably mixed race, but
she's mixed race, but they don't talk about it, which is totally fine. You know,
Right.
Like, you don't need to talk about it or make it about anything. You know,
No, it was, you know, one of the things I think that really started this is there was I think it's a woman avatar tweeted this piece of gameplay about when the main character, Rockford's her last name. I don't remember her. Cassandra, Stacy Rockford.
Cassandra's the possibly mixed kid. Yeah.
Right. And she's
like
kind of,
she's like Asian Hispanic kind of. That was the vibes that I was getting, right?
And you get that too when you hear the parents arguing in the distance, you know, about their, you know, we have to fit in and all this. But yeah, she's running through like a Ferris Bueller gauntlet of backyards to save one of her friends, trying to beat the cops there. And this woman films it and says, okay, I'm not going to touch the controller at all. And lo and behold, every, you know, fail state, if you can call it that, just kind of corrects itself. And the whole game isn't like this, because there are places where if you fuck up, it rewinds time for about 4 seconds, like a Forza game, and you can do it again. But fundamentally, it's not really a game that you have to play, like master or be good at. And that kicked off, I think, a lot of this controversy as well, or at least it may not have been what people are really upset about, but they're using that.
That's the other part of the storm. This understandable notion. I'm completely with everybody else, because look, I am somebody who likes the tactile pleasures of gameplay and video game. I mean, fuck, you made God of War, man. You know how important it was to make launchers feel good for Kratos.
Sure.
You know, the elastic feeling of the blades of chaos or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that always felt good. So it's funny to talk to you about that, since you're like one of the, at least in the West, like one of the progenitors of creating one of the more interesting gameplay focused games out there. So look, I understand this as somebody who prefers that. You know, I love Devil May Cry. I've been playing Crimson Desert a bunch, and that's an extremely complicated mechanically game. And I love that game too. I love it way more than Mixtape, to be clear. You know, but that said, you know, like it's like there's this streamer named Kungi, who wanted to play it to like ethically hate it. And I'm not going to hate on him because at least he played it, right? And he gave it a shot. And he's mostly saying it's not for me. And his biggest beef is, why is this game giving me 10s? Which I understand as well. But he also said that he doesn't like the game because he doesn't like visual novels at all. And then for me, it's like, you know, I don't love visual novels, but I understand. But I like visual novels. I think I'm fascinated by the genre. And I think that if you understand video game history, visual novels are the foundation of video game narrative design. The JRPG itself is a direct descendant of the visual novel, right?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm trying to think if that's the case. Well, okay, the JRPG, that could be the case. I don't know where that came from. I don't remember there being anything called a visual novel when I was coming up playing the first video games in the arcades and on the Apple and all that. But maybe in the East there was.
Yeah, no, there was a game called Pocopia Serial Murder Case.
Okay,
and that is the game made by the creator of Dragon Quest.
Okay.
Yeah. So he took what he learned from visual novels in terms of menu-based interaction, and he was like, what if I make an RPG like that?
Okay.
Where you're walking around and you go up to somebody and you press talk or search or stuff like that. And that is the beginning of the JRPG genre. And he made one of the first visual novels, and that's a direct descendant. We would not have Metal Gear Solid without visual novels,
right?
Because Hideo
Snatcher,
Kojima,
right?
yeah, no, well, Snatcher too, but Hideo Kojima played that game, Pocopia Serial Murder Case, and he was like, this along with Super Mario, like he's like fusing the two games together, and is like that is the potential of video game narratives. Like he saw the future of video game narratives when he played the tactility of Super Mario and the storytelling potential that the Serial Murder Case presented. So the visual novel is an extremely important building block in terms of video game evolution. So, when I played Mixtape, none of that bothered me in terms of the fact that there is no quote unquote fail state, and we can get deeper into what that actually means. Or that the game is just very simple, or you're just walking around just clicking around things, because it's an adventure game. It's just you're clicking around, you're reading the books, and you're whatever,
and even to be clear, it's not even really an adventure game because there's no puzzles. Like you don't get stuck. You're not like, how do I get through this door? And one of the things before we get to like a philosophical standpoint, do you think that complaint that we're seeing on Twitter mostly, and I guess in the forums, that I'm just upset because it's not really a game, and it's like visual novels have had especially on PC and the DS, they're still a very active sub niche of games. So it's not like, so why do you think that's really what people are upset about? Or do you think that's sort of a way to kind of onboard into the actual hate of this thing?
Well, I also do think that the high scores was that's the other perfect storm. That's I think the third pillar of the backlash, that IGN gave it a 10, and I want to give a shout out to the reviewer Simon Carty. I like him a lot. I think he's one of the smarter. He's
yeah.
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
We're still we got hung up. Okay, Simon Carty, you want to give a shout out? He's one of the smarter what?
He's a very good game player.
Okay.
He's into a lot of different games. He understands game design very well. So that's why, like, when he gave it a 10, I was like, oh fuck, well maybe I should have been paying attention to Mixtape the whole time. That was my reaction to it.
Okay.
But the internet's reaction to it was, what the fuck? Like, this is disgusting. How could a game like Crimson Desert get a 6 or blah blah blah, while a game that has no gameplay like Mixtape gets a 10. So that's like, I think, like probably like the biggest part of the outrage, honestly. Like, if the game didn't get this many good reviews, then I feel like we wouldn't be at, it would still be bad, and people would still be wanting to call it like the new Dustborn or whatever, like that game that came out, whatever, like that, which I completely ignored, and it
was not great. Yeah,
you played it, right?
I played a demo for like 40 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, this is just not for me.
Yeah, the writing sucks too, right? Like I think that there's I'm not the biggest fan of the writing in Mixtape, but I think the level of writing in Mixtape is like considerably better than Dustborn. But
yeah, no doubt.
Totally, right? Yeah, no doubt, right? So I thought, so it's like people, even without the 10s or whatever like that, people would still treat it like Dustborn, but now they're treating it like it's public enemy number one.
Do you have any thoughts about why it matters so much to them? I mean, Pragmata got great reviews. RE9 got great reviews. It's not like mainstream press or game press, for whatever it's worth, which usually, if you listen to these same people, isn't worth more than they can shit out in their morning poop. So I don't know why they care so much, but they clearly do. What's really driving the anger, given that it's not like IGN ignored other great games this year that were very much clearly games?
Yeah, I think I can actually, and chat, if there's anyone out there that feels this way, let me know. But I think that what it is this fear, because no one cares about game reviews, blah blah blah. But the companies kind of do, though, right? Like, you saw the stock tank when Crimson Desert got like 78, 77 or whatever like that, right? And then the company went into high gear, and then they started turning the game around. And guess what? The game is fucking pretty great right now, actually, right?
Yeah. And to be clear, they don't care about reviews like for ego reasons necessarily. It's more what it means for sales, right?
Yeah, just what it means for sales mostly, right?
Yeah.
And it can affect sales, although of course sometimes it can't. You know, Concord got fairly decent. Marathon is getting got very good reviews, right? And that's still like, you know, it's not exactly a blockbuster. But so that's why it's like, but so they're worried that if a game like Mixtape gets tens, that it's going to influence the rest of the industry. But like, okay, well, we got to do this then if you want to get tens from IGN.
Right.
You know?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I look, I love Crimson Desert. I love what's it? RE9. I'm playing the shit out of Winrose right now. I love games as well. I didn't fall in love with Pragmata like a lot of people did, but I like it.
I fell in love with it, but I think it's kind of fading into the memory now. You know, like I'm just like, you know, it was a good story, and I like the level design. I think it's a good crunchy game. But
it's very well made.
Yeah, very well made. But with the, you know, I feel like it's not really lingering in the mind. Like
I agree.
Right, and I kind of think it was better designed than RE9, but RE9 had a lot more impact, I think, on the brain, I think, for me. So
agree. I think a lot of it, well, we can get into that later, or
yeah, for sure, yeah,
show, but yeah. So, but what I was going to say though is that the fear though, so yes, I love traditional games as well, and I've designed primarily exclusively traditional games, but the fear is founded, and I hope it's founded, and I'll tell you why. Because as I'm playing Mixtape, and I'm going to do a test tonight because my ex is coming over for Mother's Day, and I'm going to hook up the doorstop. And I wasn't trolling. My Xbox Series X is a doorstop to keep the dog out right now because I play all of my Xbox stuff, and I play a lot of Xbox stuff, but I play it on my PC, so I literally just have it at the door. But I'm going to hook it up, and I'm just going to, she doesn't like games at all. She's not a gamer or whatever. I'm just going to say, look, I want you to sit down with us, and I want you to play this for 20 minutes. Right. Cause she's the same generation. The songs will hit, you know, she's mixed race, but she's, you know, she grew up with all the kind of K-Rock in LA and all that shit. So she's really
K-Rock. That's
right. So she's really in all these bands and stuff. She introduced me to Roxy Music, love Roxy Music now and all that. So anyway, because I played this and I finished this in one sitting, and I said, I want more games like this. And I don't even mean thematically. I mean, like when I heard Amy Hennig talk about Marvel 1943, and she had talked to Tim Schafer at DICE the previous couple of years about, I want to find a way to make games that can go outside of the core and really become something that is influential in a bigger way and can reach more people. I want Marvel 1943 to be this. I want it to be action packed and fun and all that, because it's, and think about it. Here we are, the game dropped on what, Thursday, Friday, whatever. We both played it to completion, and now we're talking about it.
I finished in one sitting too. I was surprised that I finished in one sitting, but I was kind of locked in. I was actually like, oh, I'm almost at the end. But let's get to the end then.
It dragged a little bit at parts, but it kind of
did.
The dinosaur park went on too long, and this.
I didn't like that part. Right. Well, I like one part. I like the cinematic camera angles that they were using. But yeah, I think the photo, the like taking pictures in the photo, like I was like, this is like The Last of Us again. Like whatever.
Yeah. But I could see now. I don't know if this is going to trigger anything. I would like to think it will, because I want more games like this now. And I don't just mean, like I said, I don't just mean I'm an 80s, 90s kid, and that's why, or 70s, 80s, and 90s young adult, and that's why, because I want to have interactive experiences with all the budgets and all the music and all the imagination, but I don't want everything to be Crimson Desert. You know, I know you finished Crimson Desert, but you're a unicorn, right? Most people will never fucking finish that game. And it's so systems heavy that it kind of, you know, dissuades you from even taking the time when you're finished to think about what did that really mean. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's what they're really upset about, and they feel it. Do you think this kind of game could actually become or like this sort of genre? It's not like it's the first game to do it, but this, like Edith Finch, I think, was the first. and it didn't really change much. This is the next big one in that kind of whatever genre you want to call this. Do you think this could be something that could shoulder a more mainstream concept and it would be more beloved?
What do you mean by mainstream concept? Like,
well, take Marvel 1943. So if you were to say,
gotcha. Like a Batman game like this or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't mean a Telltale game because those had puzzles and you could get stuck.
They did, and yeah. So that's why, like someone was telling me, like, why does this game get all the flack and Telltales don't? Because it has all those decision making segments in there. The Batman Telltale game is awesome. You guys should go play that. The story is sick. But like a Batman game that's like this, that's even simpler, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like QTEs of punching and whatever, and like, you know, you can imagine like a running segment where you know
Batmobile and
the Batmobile, you're just kind of controlling it, but like wiggling it back and forth, but like it looks amazing, right? Look. That's the Unreal Engine demo for the Matrix. Remember that demo, right? That's exactly what that whole experience was. You know, you're shooting around as a jobber, while Trinity and Neo are yucking it up in the front seat, and then you're shooting, but there's really no consequence or anything like that. You're just kind of shooting and you're just going along for the ride. People loved that because it looked, well, I don't know if people loved it, but like it was impressive because the graphics were interesting. It was supposed to point to the future of video game presentation and the melding of presentation and gameplay and narrative, right?
Right.
And then so here's this game that's admittedly I'm not a big fan of the stop motion art style. I think it's becoming a little bit overused. I do think that the characters are ugly, but
they are.
They're ugly, but I kind of like that though. Like,
but they're just so we're clear, they're not ugly like designed like some people think Aloy in Horizon is ugly.
Yeah, they're not like Concord ugly, but like
their art style is
like their faces are elongated. The bridge noses are like super exaggerated. Like it looks a little ugly, but I like that though because it's an art style. Like it looks a little unique. You know, like from far away, they kind of look less realistic and they kind of look like video game characters. They look like Unreal Engine pixelated polygon characters. So it's a little interesting. But what was I going with this?
Well, I was asking, do you think that a more mainstream concept could be grafted onto a style like this? And could that really bring in a lot more people? Like I said, I have no idea what my ex, who doesn't like games, is going to think of this. But I hope, and I'm not going to push her, but I hope that she's like, hey, I want to continue this. I want to see where this goes.
I wouldn't mind seeing more games like this in other art styles. You know, like for example, like I would love a mega Unreal Engine game where that looks super realistic, and you can be realistic because you're so limited in the space. Okay, here's another game I'll compare it to: Hellblade 2.
That's that's the one where she's walking and she's crazy and she hears the voices. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the voices. Hellblade 1 had a lot of gameplay. There's a lot of puzzle elements. You got to look and find things. The combat was actually pretty involved. You know, Hellblade 2 they dialed that back. They dialed that shit back all the way. And it's a huge reason why I don't like the game because for some reason they made it less gameplay than Hellblade 1. And Hellblade 2 is a lot of walking, a lot of just like you just going around pressing buttons, and then you're kind of continuing. There's a fail state, but it's not really much of it.
Well, and there are like I said, I don't think, again, I'm using my ex just because she's she does not play games. Like she'll play Wordle, right? And that's what, you know, so for her, Hellblade 2, where you get to the part of the city or the little burnt out villages and you're having to kind of find the runes at moving the camera to kind of see, that's a puzzle. That's I don't want to do that.
Gotcha. See, so that's why like this is even more pared back than Hellblade 2.
Yes.
But Hellblade 2 looks gorgeous though. I'll give it that. It's fucking beautiful. Again, that's another game that points to the future of like video game visuals. So I'd like to see, I think that there could be a potential for a game that has a more gritty or like a more like, you know, like something that might appeal to gamers more, but also, you know, like I think that's interesting. I never even thought about like attaching to a Marvel 1943, like an Amy Hennig project or whatever like that. And of course, Amy is a great writer. And then so if you're able to just rein that into like a linear narrative, and it's so good in Uncharted 2. I think Uncharted 2 is a Stone Cold classic that there could be some potential there. I think a lot of that's why it goes back to this perfect storm. It's about teenagers, they're going and it's like they're kind of annoying. The writing is a little annoying. It reminds people Life is Strange, even though it's very different from Life is Strange.
Right.
So that's why like the delusional people out there are just deluding themselves into thinking that it has anything to do with gay people or trans people or anything like that. Nothing to do with any kind of gender identity, nothing to do with any kind of racial identity.
No,
but they're deluding themselves just because the game has a look.
It is as DEI as Ferris Bueller, which is to say, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, one could say 16 Candles is more DEI if you assume that Long Duck Dong was put in there as a satire. Sadly, it wasn't, or he wasn't. It was put in there because, it was the times and it's awful. But, I mean, there's none of that in this game. Yeah. Let me show you this.
It'd be funny if Mixtape was just racist, just some breakfast at Tiffany's, like Japanese guy going, oh, do, like,
oh my, then they would fucking love it. Are you kidding me? They would love it.
I would kind of love it. I'd be like, hell yeah, dude.
Let me. Okay, so I hope that happens as well. But I can absolutely understand maybe why a lot of these gamers feel like maybe, well, here we are continuing to get pushed to the margins, and it's like, I'd like to just. You are being pushed to the margins, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get your games. But every art form, I mean, maybe you can speak to this because you're more fluid in, or in music and other things that you write about. But every art form, once it becomes big and expensive, becomes more about how do we cast a wider net, and all the alt indie weird shit goes to the weird little theaters with like 2 screens, or it goes to the indie alt, college radio and all that. I mean, it's always been that way, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is interesting for video games. What you just said was interesting because like this is still an indie game. This is going to be niche. Like not a lot of people are playing this game,
right?
Despite the discourse, what game people are playing that is casting a wide net to a lot of different variety of people, including women and people of color, is Nintendo's Tomodachi Life.
Right.
It sold millions. You go on TikTok.
Hang on, Gene, we lost you again. He'll come back though. Sorry, fellas.
People of all kinds are.
That's okay. There's something going on. I don't think it's my internet at the moment because we just updated to fiber.
It might be mine, but I'm plugged in. I'm hooked in. So
it's fine. It always comes back. So Tomodachi Life. You go on TikTok or Twitter.
You go on TikTok. It's just like multi-generational. People of all ages are playing it. People of all genders are playing it.
My trans son is obsessed with it. He doesn't know he doesn't even know what the fuck Mixtape is.
Exactly. See, so like
he sent me a picture of myself. He made me in the game, and he said, "Oh, you got married, Dad." I said, "Who did I end up marrying?" And he also made a character based on ChatGPT. And I guess I married ChatGPT, which is very apropos.
That's very apt. Wow.
That's crazy.
That's funny because you're actually in my game too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did I marry anyone, or do I have any relationship?
You haven't. I don't think you've hooked up with anyone. I think Bayonetta is in love with you though. So.
Come on now, Gene, make that happen. Make that shit happen.
All right. I'll push that. I'll push that along. But see, I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like there are many different ways to grow the music or the music industry, but the video game industry. And I think I don't think that Mixtape is going to be in danger of becoming like the norm. But that said, back to your original question about popularity and things becoming mainstream and like whether the audience is being pushed to the wayside, right, or like kind of becoming more niche. So I announced last night I'm reviewing the new Iceman album by Drake coming up May 15. That Drake in himself, for folks who don't know, Drake is the rapper that lost a famous beef like to Kendrick Lamar two years ago, and because of that, that reaction to Drake was because a lot of hip hop fans felt like that they were being marginalized because Drake himself was started to define hip hop in a way that was vapid, that's talking about girls and making money and being a celebrity and hang out with fucking streamers and stuff like that. And then Kendrick was like, no, hip hop is about soul, it's about this. So that's why, like, I do feel like that there is kind of a parallel between the purism of hip hop and the purism of the gameplay centric video gamer, right?
Do you find the fan base seems to be as at each other's throats about it, or it's not as familiar?
No, in hip hop, it's extremely toxic. People are getting doxxed. People are getting threatened. It's yeah. So that's why the joke was, it's gonna be better when I review the Drake album, right? And like, no, it actually could potentially be even worse. So,
oh my god. So it's not games. It's just people. We're all just fucked as people.
It's not just video games. It's like you go to film Twitter and you see the discussions there. You know, people are worried about, you know, like people are worried about like Marvel, or like, you know, like the rom-com is gone from film now. You know, you can't see you can't see the $30 $50 million budget movie anymore in the theaters.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Or the $10 million budget movie theater anymore. So I feel like people are worried about that. So Mixtape is interesting because Mixtape is indie. Again, like not a lot of people are playing.
Well, people get upset when you say it's indie because they're like, this comes from, you know.
That's true, because it comes from Annapurna, and you know, and Annapurna is not exactly indie. Annapurna is fun projects, well, you know.
Right. And I don't, you know, I don't even know. The trailer I played at the start of this was the original Mixtape reveal from somewhere. And you know, that trailer made me very excited. And then, and I think, I don't know if you ever crossed paths with Nathan Gary. He used to be a Santa Monica guy, and then he ran Annapurna Interactive, and then he ran all of Annapurna. And then the whole Annapurna Interactive group, including him, left recently, or about a year ago, and they became part of Private Division, or they bought Private Division, or whatever. Right. So I don't really know which version of Annapurna Interactive made this, but they are very well funded because it's run by Larry Ellison's daughter. You know who's the favorite kid in that family? She gets Annapurna, he gets Paramount, or you know, so it's like, hey, that's fuck you, Dad. But anyway, yeah, so
that's why like people are calling a nepo baby game, whatever like that, and say, well, she didn't make it, but you know,
but everything's. I mean, it's like again, but maybe because I've been seeing you on Twitter lately being more healthy. Like you locked your account, and there's clearly something going on where you're like, I can't be in this space anymore like this. It's not good for my mental health.
Yeah, and
I think maybe for me, there is a love of the fight. I like fighting and debating, but maybe the real healthy thing to reveal is, or for me to come to grips with, is there is no solve. If it's in hip hop, it's in film, it's in games, it's tribal. Some people want to get over it. Some people love it. You never know where they are when you encounter them online. And as fun as it is, your time is ticking away on this planet. And do you really want to spend it arguing with some idiot about something that is kind of just human nature?
I am more acutely aware of the limited amount of time that we have on this realm, you know, the Earth realm. I just watched Mortal Kombat 2 last night. Fucking sick movie.
Good. I know the reviews have been mixed. Some people love it. Some people say,
I love it so much. This is one of the best video game movies ever made.
Easily. Did it come out Friday or it's next week?
It came out Friday.
Okay.
Oh, so good. I want to watch it again.
Cool.
It was so good that I reinstalled Mortal Kombat 1, and I'm playing that again too. Yeah, go watch Mortal Kombat 2. I'm very acutely aware. I don't want to fucking waste any time arguing with people who don't know how to read, and they make it my problem that they don't know how to read.
Right. And that's smart. And it seems like you've had a good experience locking your account. So people can still, I'm just curious, total tangent for a moment, but as a writer and someone that wants to grow their footprint so their articles do better and whatnot, when you lock your Twitter account, that means when you tweet out, hey, I have a new article, unless you've allowed someone to follow you, they can't know you have a new article, or is it just they can't communicate?
Pretty much, yeah. So like I'm locking in the 165,000 in with me, you know? And yeah, there's a bunch of shitheads that follow me too. So, but whatever, you know, like.
Okay. Yeah. But that's worth it to say.
Follows me, and he just quote tweeted me.
Right, but I'm not going to grow it. You're okay not growing it.
I'm okay with not growing it. Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, I would rather disappear if I can get a different job, you know, altogether. But you know, that's a whole different other conversation. That's safe for my therapist. So
okay, that's good. It's not good, but I mean, I hope that you get what you want. Let's go back to Mixtape. I want to show you something somebody put up. This is a tweet from the Black Viking. And because your whole article, not your whole article, but a meaningful part of your review of this game was, this was not my experience. I was doing much more interesting drugs than weed. When I was 15, I was already kind of like, alcohol was nothing in Guam. It was easy to get.
It was easy to get, very easy to get. Yeah, we had
There
no
was-
house party. We had no house parties. You just go to the beach and drink whatever there, which they do here in this game too, right?
They do.
That's familiar too.
But the lack of,
I went to the bars. I was just at bars.
yeah, I think I saw a picture you tweeted of yourself in high school with the cigarette, and you were hanging out at a bar.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, the Mixtape guys would have looked at you and been like, who is this god?
Yeah.
You know.
No. Like here's the thing. I would have been picking on the Mixtape kids. You know.
Yeah.
I would think that they're pussies. You know. But you know, the part of the reason why I mentioned that though in the first place was, well, one, blessing over at Kind of Funny also mentioned that he didn't grow up as a white kid. He didn't grow up. He grew up in a different generation. He's like about 10 years younger than me. You know, a little bit more than 10 years. So that's solidly a different generation of youth, I think, right? Especially in the internet age. But also, you know, there's also the race. But the part of the reason why I brought this up, what the fuck? Oh, hey, this is AI generated, but hey, I see the vision, right?
Right. Well, yeah. So this is what I was going to say, because it got me. This guy put this out and said, I don't know if you'd want to call it Mixtape too. This certainly was not my teenage experience, but I would love to play this.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it would resonate with me in the same way, but I would still go, oh my God, yeah, the music would be great. And it would be cool to get a different experience of what growing up is, in this environment with people like this, people of color.
Yeah. So the reason why, real quick, the reason why I brought up the relatability thing for me is because I never related to the John Hughes movies. Never once. I didn't like those movies. I'm not saying that those are bad movies. They're brilliantly made movies. The Breakfast Club is brilliantly structured, brilliantly written. But when I see what was the cool kid, the bully kid, the delinquent kid's name in Breakfast Club, the long hair guy.
In real life, Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson,
Bender.
Yeah. Good God. Well, Judd Nelson, Breakfast Club character. Right there. John Bender. So
yeah,
when John Bender was talking about like he has this big moment where he says, "Yeah, my dad bought me a box of cigarettes for my birthday. Thanks, Dad. Oh, fucking thanks, man." And he starts like fucking like snapping about about the trauma that he's getting about his dad buying him cigarettes.
Yeah.
When I watched that, I was watching that with my dad, and we were both laughing at that because my dad would buy me cigarettes and it would be sick. I loved it.
Right.
I thought it was awesome. He would buy me filterless cigarettes. He would give me the strongest shit. Hence why I'm a recurring cancer survivor, right?
Right.
But it's like he would buy me filterless cigarettes and he'd be like, "Here, son, smoke this." I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, Dad," and I'll smoke it.
Right.
So it's like I did not see myself in John Hughes movies at all. Even the bad kid, the worst, most delinquent kid in there was not even close to the kind of life that I was living.
Right. Absolutely.
I did enjoy Ferris Bueller's Day Off though, because I think that movie has a lot more going on in terms of it's like an action movie, it's a coming of age movie, of course, but it's like, the comedy was there. I feel like the writing, I feel like that movie kind of transcends the genre.
Yeah, I think so, because it's kind of the fantasy that every kid, no matter where you grow up, has, which is, I don't want to go to school and I want to be smarter than the authorities and all that.
Yeah.
And
that's why I think Mixtape actually kind of almost works at that level. Not quite as good, but I think it was able to reach out and touch certain things beyond its genre and its period of time. So my fears were kind of founded, but not really. I totally understand what Blessing is saying, and I'm really kind of there with him, honestly.
Well, it's funny because like I said, I love the reveal trailer, and then when I started seeing things, I saw a guy streaming it day one, and it was the part, I think it was in Stacy's room, where it's she opens up a list on her bulletin board of these are our slogan for our road trip, like stay fresh, cheese bags, and all this. And I was like, oh my God, this is so dumb.
It's so corny.
And even her voice sounds like Elizabeth Holmes. You know how Elizabeth Holmes had that affected Elizabeth Holmes, and I'm like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm so disappointed. I do not want. In fact, when I was just like, I don't want to play this. I'm going to play it, but I think I'm really going to hate this and be cringed out by this fucking thing.
Sure.
And
That's interesting. Okay.
but there and absolutely, especially the first 45 minutes of the game or so, there are lines and stuff in that game where you're like, okay, but something happens, and I honestly don't even know how conscious it is, and if it is, where it happens, where by the end of it, I loved these characters. You know, and I don't know, like they weren't as obnoxious. Like even the guy with the mustache, what Slater.
Van Slater. The weakest character of the bunch for sure, right?
But but I was just like, oh God, I'm gonna hate this fucking dumb prick.
He wasn't that bad about it.
He
was fine. I didn't think he was that. I was the same as you. The first 45 minutes are definitely the worst part of the story, and like House is the worst writing. But I don't.
How intentional do you? I mean, that's ballsy if it's intentional, but I don't know. I mean, how intentional is it to like we're gonna make these characters at least somewhat off-putting, and then you're going to start to understand that, you know, I don't want to go too deep with it because maybe it's not that deep. Maybe it was a self-defense mechanism. What I loved is it very quickly became clear that this was the game world reflected the way they felt about their experiences, not what was really happening, which makes me wonder, can that also be said about the way they spoke and thought, like fuck authority and all this? And it was almost like so comic book the way they expressed themselves that it was like that was hyper real too.
That's so funny that you say that, because I kind of am feeling that way too, you know, that I feel like, you know, like the hyper realism is there from the start. People were complaining, like, you know, none of them have headphones, so like, why are they clapping to the Devo song at the beginning or whatever like that, right? Right. As they're skating more by. It's because this game is like enhancing reality, you know, like every this is as far as I see it, I don't think Mixtape is actually happening in real time. It feels like Stacy having this idea, like they had this night, right? They did the progression of actual events from skating to going to house to getting the alcohol to going to the party. All that stuff actually happened. But of course, the things in between, the floating through the fields and flying through the air, all that stuff didn't happen. It's this emotion that she's kind of captured in her brain, that this is what it felt like back at the time, you know? Right.
And even, yes. And there, and that's maybe one of the reasons the game is so special to me, because while like, and I can't speak to all of these journalists that are giving it 10s. I mean, it is currently my game of the year. It is easy 10. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played so far. I'm coming off it fresh. But just like Starfield, I admit that I'm bringing a lot of my own baggage to it, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's the reason we all have our own favorite movies, right? Is it the best game ever made? Probably not. But for me, where it really lands for me is I was on the periphery of the teenage experience, right? I was not the guy that I had friends, I did things, but I was all about getting out to Hollywood and being a film director. And I wanted that from the time I was like well before middle school. And so I didn't allow myself the distraction / joy of really being that kind of stereotypical teenager. I was just like, I don't have time for this. I want to do this, you know? And so, but it certainly touched me because I was around it. My friends were around it, and I was sort of a character in it for other people, but it wasn't my day-to-day experience. And so I think there's a nostalgia for things you missed out on, that I get when I play this. And I wonder how many game journalists, like, does the game hit harder if you had this teenage experience, or does the game hit harder if you could have had it, but you didn't quite have it? And when you're talking about it like it's her memory, like an amplified
Mhm.
version,
Mhm.
I wonder about that. Like, I wonder if that's why it hits people so hard, because if you were even somewhat in the mix of these kinds of waters
Mhm.
growing up, and there, it just makes you, did I miss out? Did I get,
Mhm.
I felt very nostalgic and heartsick after I played this game. Like,
Sure.
I want to go back. I
Was it
want
because
to.
you felt like you missed out then?
Both. It was the things
Oh.
I remember. Like, I saw you writing in your article about a guy who had died that you went to school with, and he meant a lot.
Mhm.
I have one of those. I think a lot of us sadly have. You get to a certain age and you have the guy who dies first from your crew.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's the experiences I actually had, but it's as much the experiences that I could have done that, but I
Mhm.
didn't. I went to the movies, or I went out to make a film that weekend
Mhm.
instead of going to the party at this guy's house.
Mhm.
Could have gone, knew
Yeah.
people who went, but I was making a movie, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a longing to go back to that I think this game really triggered within me.
I will say that I was, despite my not connecting with John Hughes movies and blah 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 and all my whinging about that shit, right? There were a lot of moments in Mixtape that I actually had specific memories of. There are two. One, you want to talk about the elevated, hyper real emotional moments, like when Stacy and Cassandra are just lying down on the roof of their house and
Yeah.
they're just having a talk, and then suddenly the conversation gets so deep that they start floating, right?
Yes.
I've literally had that moment, and it feels like that when I think about my old friend. We used to sit in the back of the pickup truck, just look at the night sky,
Hang on, Gino.
and then it felt like the her. Yep. Am I back? Or?
You're back. You're back.
Like lie down in the back of a pickup truck with my friend, and when we were talking, it was like her and I were floating. So so it's interesting to see that and see that in gameplay, or not even really gameplay, but just like represented in the cutscene or whatever. That it was effective. It was interesting. The other thing is, I guess spoiler alert for Mixtape, but I feel like no one really cares about spoiler alerts, anyways. But it ends with a fire, right? It's something burning down.
Yes.
It's not that drastic, but something is burning down, and I think that's interesting because in my senior year in high school, I did burn shit. Actually, I don't have my high school uniform. I don't have my yearbooks. I don't have my books or anything from that era. Because me and my buddy Justin Prochnow and my buddy Joey and my buddy Dave, we all and they were white kids too, right?
Right.
These white kids, so like they're and it was cool. It felt cleansing, and it's and I sit back and I smoked a cigar and I was like, the rest of my life is happening. And that's a core memory for me,
Right. And
so
this game triggered that.
This game triggered that, where I was like, okay, well, they're burning shit, and one character specifically is using that fire, and we saw that in the trailer. She says, "I want to ride a stallion of fiery delinquency or whatever that."
Yes,
so
that's
fucking
right.
corny. So fucking corny, but I did kind of used to talk like that though, a little bit, right? Like,
right. I mean, that's the thing.
The game has a weird mixture of like, it feels like adults are writing for kids, right? Like it does feel like something they're writing. My friend Khalif Adams kind of actually pointed. He loves this game too. He thinks it's generational, like you. But he also did point out, like, yeah, it kind of feels like it's adults writing for kids, and I think that kind of goes back to my point of like, it doesn't feel like Stacy is talking about this in real time as she's 17,
Right.
It feels like
you could actually, I'm glad they didn't, but if they would have bookended this with a mom talking to her own teenage daughter and the mom was Stacy, don't do that. Don't do that, Annapurna, for the sequel. But I'm just saying that that's what you're saying, right?
That would have been an extra layer of corniness and cheese, I think, on top of the whole cheesy pizza.
But it would have made sense to the way
it would have made
complete
sense.
It.
Yeah. Like if that would happen, I'll be like, oh yeah, no, totally, I get that.
And I think that's the reason, and maybe where it comes together. And I don't know if these guys need or get a get out of jail free card for that corniness that's in. But there is the scene where they're riding the Brontosaurus and they talk about having the
I like that scene.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that moment where they're literally semi breaking the fourth wall and saying no one gets the quintessential teenage experience, and they're basically, even they are pining for it. And so it could very well explain why even the dialogue is like, this is how cool we thought we were.
Yeah, when Cassandra or Stacy, I forget which one, but one of them says, it feels like, the end of the world or whatever like that when you're a teenage, right? That's not a perspective that a teenager has,
No, that's right. That
is not the perspective a teenager has. When you're a teenager, you're not even thinking about this. It's unconscious that everything is the end of the world or whatever like that. Now, as a 40-year-old, I can look back and say, wow, things really did feel like the end of the world back then.
Well, it was in that scene ends with the meteor hitting and wiping out the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, whether it felt or it didn't feel like the end of the world, but it was absolutely the end of that world. Because that's why, to me, again, it's so powerful, because you really can't go back, which sucks.
It's life or death, right? Kind of, right?
That version of you is dead. Because you will never be able to experience whatever, again, some people had awful traumatic childhoods, but for the most part, people had their basic needs met. They had a roof, they had food, As an adult, the minute you step into that new role, that's all on you.
It's all gone.
And that safety and that sense of being able to think things are bigger than they really are, because for you don't have to worry about eating. Some people do, but most kids don't, in America, at least, thank God. But tragic, anybody ever has to worry about it. But so it hit me. Let me get a couple questions. And if you want to go to the audience.
I knew that you would like it, but I didn't expect that you'd fucking cry, you pussy. No, I'm kidding.
I've never cried in a video game in my life.
I've never seen you like that before, man. Holy shit, dude. Like, it actually made me tear up watching you. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I cry in movies. I cry in commercials. I am an easy cry. But video games have never made me cry, and this one did.
I was shocked at the very end of the game. I was mad because at the very end of the game, it's such a corny tactic. I won't spoil what happens, right? But it's such a corny thing that happens at the end of the game. You know what it is? Like the very last thing you do in the game, right?
The firework thing.
The very last prompt of the game. The very last scene of the game.
Yeah.
Yes. When that happened, a tear rolled down my cheek, and I was like, "Oh fuck, they got me! Holy shit!"
Because I was sitting there going, I could sit here and I want to do this thing they're asking me to do forever. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Even now, when I'm remembering it, because I'd kind of forgotten, it's making me a little emotional. Because I'm like, you can do that. But you really can't. But you could, but it's not the way you should do it. It's like, it's real. There's a lot of smart shit in this.
Eventually, you got to move on, right? Like, you got to, right?
And that's
so when that happened, it was so simple, but I was like, fuck. So let me talk about
and that is expressed through gameplay, you guys. It's so
gameplay,
cool.
yeah. So that's why and I wrote this in my review about the tongue kissing scene that people seem to be so mad about, right? First of all, people are like, oh my god, it's teenagers making out. Like, have you ever watched a teenage movie or a TV show? Have you not watched American fucking Pie or Super Bad or anything like that? You guys are idiots, man. What the fuck, 2, you are meant to be grossed out. I was super grossed out. I thought this was fucking disgusting.
Yes, thank God.
But when Stacy throws the tape out in the very next scene, in a nice little comedic edit, that's when that is the first time, and this happens in the first 5 minutes, right? That is the first instance where the game connected with me. It got its first hook into me, where I was like, oh, I get it. That worked, because I was similarly disgusted and I wanted to throw my controller out, and the next scene was somebody throwing something out, and I was like, oh, there was a synergy there that was important, I feel like. And I feel like,
well, there was a sense that the developers were aware of what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Dustborn, where it's like, hey, you guys are along for the ride with us, right? And we're all going, no, we're not. And in this, it was like, oh, okay, they got us. We're okay.
Yeah, they were like, we know that this is disgusting. So
Yeah.
they were expecting the player that's the audience, that's the developer audience interaction, and that was through tactile gameplay. It wasn't much. It's just wiggling your joysticks.
Well, the best part of that was because people have looked at it, but what you see is after a couple of seconds, it'll let you. I forget what the verb is, but you can hit a button and say, "Okay, it's enough."
Okay, that's
right?
enough. Yeah,
that's
and
enough.
I hate that shit immediately. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
I did too. The
here,
second, yeah, I think if you really want to judge the Annapurna, if they really want to fuck with people, get the telemetry of how long people stayed in that scene. And then you can figure out, that's the Mixtape version of checking someone's hard drive.
There's actually an achievement. There's actually an achievement where you have to do that for like 60 seconds or whatever. That I was like, dude, I don't know if it can last that long. Man.
It was so gross, and all the saliva.
The hardest achievement ever, man.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It's gross. It was gross. It worked.
Yes,
it worked.
It only would have made better if there were food particles on the tongues.
God.
But
one of them had braces too, right?
Yes,
so
yes. But what's weird about it is that there's also, and maybe it's probably not even worth talking about more than 5 sentences with us, but people are like, "Oh, it's a pedo thing. You guys like games where you can play kids make." It's like, dude, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
That's your quality of discourse on this, you fucking moron. But
yeah,
I'm sure you've seen that, right?
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's what I was talking about. Like, have you ever watched like a teenage movie before? Like, their sexual show, like Euphoria. Like,
right.
Like I don't want to watch Euphoria because it has. I don't want to watch that show because it has a bunch to do with high school teens that are being sexy or whatever like that. We just talk about Drake. Like he's into that shit. But I'm not.
Well, but even so, if you watch a movie that has kids,
it's normal, because it's a teenage drama, and
just because you suddenly make it an interactive thing, same thing.
If it was a 35-year-old making out with Stacy, then yes, that's some pedo shit. We should not be doing this, right?
Well, I'm sure there will be mods.
Yeah,
I'm sure there will be mods. Yeah.
Anyways, but real quick before we get to questions, I want to ask, what scene for you? You were talking about 45 minutes. It was kind of gross or blah, blah, blah. Do you remember when things started to kind of click for you? Because I kind of remember for me.
I think it was probably, and this is, I need to go back because I don't remember the sequence, but I think when I started to recognize that this was overtly heightened reality by purpose, the shopping cart thing at the beginning very quickly makes it clear, okay, there's no way this happened the way they're remembering it. But I think when Cassandra's playing baseball and every time she hits in the stadium, that was where I'm like, okay, this is
okay. Yeah, that was exactly the scene. That was exactly the scene for me. Where I was like, oh, it's a cheat code to use the touch by Stan Bush. Complete cheat.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Cheat code. Like I was like, that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Like you can't put that in here in this moment because I'm gonna love it, right? Like regardless.
Yeah.
But also like again, the tactile gameplay of I love Cassandra. Cassandra was the character that got me connected. I eventually started to love Stacy too.
Yeah.
Stacy was harder for me to connect with, even though she's the main character. But I think it was it was Cassandra's relationship with her that made me like Stacy more. So that was but so we had the exact same moment. That's interesting. It's
interesting.
I feel like I also hear that a lot too, that I feel like that Cassandra moment like really connected with people. So
you said this in your thing, or actually no, I think you posted it when somebody was talking about that sequence with Stacy running Ferris Bueller style. And you said you would actually like it more if there were fail states, right? And what was interesting to me about this game, and one of the reasons I think it does work better, is, I gave a talk at DICE ages ago where I was talking about creating cinematic moments in video games that, like, if you put people in a cinematic moment and they're not watching it, but they're living it, and there are fail states, it no longer becomes a cinematic moment.
Sure.
Right. The people who stormed the beaches of Normandy did not experience it like the audience experienced Saving Private Ryan, no matter how much we want to say that was such an authentic take. If you're in a shootout situation in war, you're not thinking about any of the context of it other than you're just thinking of, can I get to that rock over there and before this grenade that just landed in my feet goes off, right? I mean, at least I assume that's what you're thinking, if anything. And so the minute you start putting fail states into things, I find personally, that's the minute I extract myself from the narrative fantasy and it becomes a puzzle. I'm no longer only or as deeply entrenched in the scenario that's being presented. And I'm going, how do I get over this fence? I failed 5 times. Oh, I have to jump, double jump, and then glide. You know what I'm saying? And so I do think there is this game, what a game, whatever. I don't give a shit what you call it, but this experience does give you, I think, the best of both worlds in the sense, well, not the best of both worlds. That's not right. But it gives you an experience and with enough interactivity that you feel like it's more than just watching. And there's value to that. Like, it's not like, why not just make a movie? I never got the sense of why not just make a movie.
No, I never got that sense either.
But I never got pulled out of it.
And to correct you, I never said that I think it would be better with fail states, like a game over screen or everything like that. I think, I don't know how they would make it, but I would have liked a little bit more stakes.
That's what I agree. Having some stakes in such a pivotal moment would have been fun, is what.
Yeah, but I don't know about fail state. Like maybe.
Okay, so what would the stakes have been? What do you mean?
I don't know because I'm not a game designer. I'm not that smart, but I'm thinking maybe off the top of my head, like maybe a few more interactable like timed events with that. The run was just a little too smooth. She has a good point where there was a moment where Stacy runs by people taking a photo and then she flips them off as she's like running in the middle. Very cute. I love that moment, right? So cute. Or like when she kicks the field goal in the football field, right?
But it just happens.
It just happens. Like it'd be nice if like you could miss those moments, but if you want to, if you press it at the right time, like you've been pressing Y to flick cars off the whole game. So why didn't they think about doing that at that moment too?
Right. And they probably did, but they probably were like, we don't have the time to add multiple animation scenarios of what happens if you miss or what happens if you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I guess. Yeah. But it's like,
okay, that makes sense. That's fair.
Yeah,
I get that.
I think that's it. Where it's like it'd be more fun to replay if I just do that.
But even that though, see, that's interesting too though, because even that makes you go. If let's say you kick the football well, or you don't kick it well, the minute
I wouldn't say kick it well or not, just a QTE, and you always make the field goal. That's it. Just press Y, and then you make the field goal.
Oh, I see. Okay, so there was.
I don't want it to be a mini game of field goal like in the middle of it. No,
I don't mean that. But the fail state would be if I kick it wrong, it doesn't make the field goal. Then my mind goes to, oh, I should go back because I want to see if I can make the field goal. And suddenly I stop feeling I'm Stacy on the run, and I start feeling like I'm Jaffe the game player. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Gene will be back. He's doing multiple podcasts in multiple dimensions right now, so he'll be back. I hope that wasn't me. Are we still live, you guys? Hit me up in the chat. Whoops, I think we lost Gene. Hang on, let me bring him back in. There you go. Hello? Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Yeah.
Okay, weird. Yeah, weird. So right. So yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But like I feel like that sensation of, oh, I should do that again is still in the game, because when and that clip, Stacy just fucking bumbling and bumping into everything. So if I was doing that, I'd be like, no, I should do this run again, because I want Stacy to be as smooth as Ferris Bueller, man. That whole segment is just a Ferris Bueller tribute, right?
Yeah,
and I liked it because I was like, okay, of course. When I watched the movie, I was like, this looks like a Mario game. So here is the game just doing that, and I was like, cool. I love this part. It's so funny that people are making fun of it. And I was like, that was one of my favorite parts. People are also making fun of the scene where the BJ Young song where Stacy's really depressed. and she's just like floating in the air.
Oh, I like that. That was cool.
I love that sequence. I fucking love that part. It was so sweet, and it felt like an interactive music video.
Why were they making fun? I haven't seen them making fun of that.
Because it's very artsy fartsy, and there's nothing really going on. All you're doing is like moving her around, and so.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, not much of a limb, and suggest that some of the people that are pushing back on things like that, are probably really stunted, and not in touch with their emotions and stuff. It doesn't mean you have to process sadness like she does in this game. You don't have to be overtly, emo about it, but it's like, look, people get sad. People struggle, people have issues. And when you think about it in retrospect, it feels that way. And, I think some of these people are just afraid of their own fucking shadows is what might be going on. But anyway, I mean, what are you going to do? Okay. What about one more critique? I want to hear what you have to say about this. A lot of people are like, why not just make a movie? Right. And I'm watching this and I'm playing this and I'm watching this too. And I'm going, if this were just a movie, I think it would be like, like we've seen this story over and over and over. It's not like it's the most original thing. Do you think it gets a pass at being great for the people who love it because it's one of the few things in the gaming space that reflects this kind of thing that we've seen ad nauseum elsewhere? Or do you think there's something inherent about it being a game that is making people respond to it more?
I think both. I do think that this space is, well, like as you said, is well tread in movies and film and TV shows, right? But I think it's fairly well tread in games too. I mean, I don't think there's a ton of games, but I don't know, like even Bully by Rockstar is about a sickness,
Yeah, but it's more from the. Right, I mean, he's a dick. I haven't played it. I know what it is.
But I think specifically John Hughes itself isn't quite like in games, right?
Right.
So I think that in itself was a little bit special for people. It's not special for me because I don't like John Hughes movies, but I think that did make it special for people. Yes.
Okay.
But
I mean,
also
both things. The fact that it's interactive and rare because of that.
Yeah.
And there is something about it hitting harder because it's interactive.
I personally think they hit harder because it's interactive.
I want to believe that, but I haven't figured out why that's the case. Like I couldn't articulate it if you asked me to write an essay about it.
Well, because I think it feels like it forces you to kind of again. I do think the interaction does force you to kind of consider the character's placement in emotional placement, because you have to wriggle the tongues. You have to kind of navigate slowly through this area because you're sad or whatever like that. And or maybe that moment with the BJ Young song where she's so sad, right, and she's like floating away. There's all kinds of shit in her way, right? Yeah, and her body is ragdolling sometimes through it, and sometimes you're so fucking depressed that you're just dragging your feet. That it just feels like you're just gonna, like, sometimes I feel so depressed that I'm not even looking where I'm going, and I'll just like bump into like the wall or something like that.
So the nature of it being interactive to you allowed that emotional beat to hit harder versus watching that being filmed. Okay.
Yeah. I think if this was just a movie, it would not be a very good movie. It would just be like, like you said, right?
Right. And I would like to, where I would push back on critics is I'd like that to be acknowledged at least, because game critics do this a lot, where I got away with this when I did Twisted Metal Black. I was ripping off Seven. I was ripping off a lot of, movies of the day, but because there wasn't a lot of that at the time, I got to be the guy that brought that to games. And I got the same, at least through video game journalism, I got the same kind of kudos for it. I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm just ripping off David Fincher, dude. I'm taking Twisted Metal and ripping off David Fincher. That's all I'm doing. But
so I think that's what it is. Like, even with The Last of Us, which I think is good writing. I think The Last of Us is good writing. I think it's a very well written game. And I think the success of the HBO show, at least the first season, shows that the story it travels well across the mediums, right? Yeah, translates well across the mediums. But people consider The Last of Us a stone cold classic, or maybe one of their best things they've ever experienced, because it was a video game, because they felt attached to Ellie, because they felt like, because they lived through the experience of having to shoot and kill and murder for Ellie. I think that heightens the storytelling for them, and that is what makes video games special, and that's what makes Mixtape different from just watching a John Hughes movie.
Got it. Okay.
That's what,
All right.
That's why I connected a bit more than I would a Breakfast Club. You know.
Let us do some super chats, and if you guys want to call in and talk to Gene and me, let me get the very generous super chats. Thank you guys. Awesome Tatum says, here you go, a few more bucks for the drugs and the women. Thank you, buddy. Gene and Jaffe are back. Who would have thought, says KP. Well, we're not back regularly yet, but hopefully we can convince Gene to come back more often. I love doing the show with Gene. Torque Mod, Jaffe, love you. Been a while since I've been here. Thank you, buddy. Awesome Tatum drops 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much, buddy. Mr. K sends a gift membership. Thank you. Submachine Official dropped 20 Jaffe gift memberships. Thank you so very fucking much, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
That is staggeringly generous, and I appreciate you not spending money on your mother today and instead spending it on me and Gene. It is.
Oh, hey, the lady that posted that clip is here, Christina Tacey. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, she should come in. Let's bring her.
Yeah. If you want to come in, that'd be great. We should talk about it, because I don't think what you said was invalid.
She kicked all this off.
Yeah, but her chat here says she says the weird part is that Mixtape isn't woke. I just think that when the game doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, and it just becomes a real slog to basically press the equivalent of unpause every few minutes. I get that.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you want to come in, we'd love to talk to you. That would be fantastic. Yep. The link is pinned in the chat. Jenny Goodspeed is behind the Mixtape hate mob, says Jimmy Mack.
Jenny fucking right. Goodspeed, yeah.
Fuck her. Shout out to Gene for retweeting my score justification. My Twitter, this is from Sick Mechanico, has been a nightmare for 24 hours. Oh no, someone has an opinion. You goddamn right, buddy. Thank you. Jimmy Mack says these teens are kind of pretentious and angsty. I think a lot of older millennials and Gen X forget what we were like as teens. Hell, that's what I'm like now, baby. I didn't forget. Carlos, thank you for the very generous super chat. It says, even though I didn't grow up in the 90s and don't have similar memories to those kids, I think the reason the game hit for me was I was cleaning my garage and found my CDs from middle and high school. I was a top 40 kid, man. I was a Phil Collins, Whitney Houston, Chicago guy. It wasn't until I got to college that I started to discover more of the things like Jesus and Mary Chain or Roxy Music. And I had like Honey and what's the Roxy Music song at the end? More than this on repeat all last night.
You know why I don't like those two songs in this game, or not that I don't like them, but like the what it lessened the impact is that they were lost in translation, and I feel like
I know Honey was More Than This.
More than This was a karaoke scene where
that's fair.
So that's why it's like I feel like Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson kind of like own those moments and those songs,
right?
And it felt weird for this game to suddenly just kind of like take it and just also use it too.
Yeah.
I was also disappointed. I also feel like they picked the wrong Smashing Pumpkins song, but I feel like the scene that they used it in was good. So I was like, okay, whatever.
I was happy they went all the way back to the 60s. I thought it was just going to be early 90s music, but it was all
music. Yeah, it's just all music. So
that was cool. Real Radic, hey buddy, says, Gene, can you convince Jaffe to listen to Iceman? I don't know who that is. Oh, the album.
That's a Drake album, yeah.
I mean, I'll listen to it. I've never listened to a Drake album in my life, but why not? Wasn't Dispatch lauded for being interactive? Says, it's me, the broke boy. Thank you, buddy. I have no idea. I liked Dispatch. I thought it was really, really good. I never finished it. I enjoyed it. All right, let's bring in Kenny. Kenny, you are on with me and Gene. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up, Kenny?
I'm all right. I'm staying off the mic today. I just got home from the gym, so I'm a little disheveled.
You're good, man.
right now. Yeah, but before I ask you my question, I just wanted to make a point how for the past few minutes I've been listening to you guys, and the discussion revolves around video games. It revolves around, gameplay, graphics, the story, how this game relates to, kind of fits itself within the medium, right? And how it pushes the medium forward. And you just suppose that to what you see online from some of these other content creators. And it's just night and day. And it's just so refreshing. And which leads to my question, right? Because I mean, Jeff, you used to work in the industry. I'm pretty sure you still have connections. Gene, you're a reporter. You speak to those folks in the industry. Are they are they watching or reading the rhetoric that's being put out there? And how are they countering this this type of narrative? Because I don't know if you saw this clip by Asmongold, where he was talking, where I believe he was referencing Mixtape and how
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail. I wouldn't even click on it. I hate that guy. But what was it about?
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially he was kind of calling for this kind of crusade against the woke would be one way to describe it. And like I sent a post out to places. I don't know if their media teams even see these posts. I'm pretty sure they get millions of tags or whatnot. But I'm telling these studios, like, listen, you guys have to protect your creatives. You guys have to counter this messaging because the messaging is omnipresent. These guys, or I ask anybody right now, if you guys go, for example, to Smash GT's X page, I don't know how he has the time to do this as an adult with a family. But it is literally like every hour on the hour, this man is posting nothing but rage bait content. And these guys have thousands of followers. So
that's how they take care of their families. I mean, I don't know JT Smashhead personally, but I get the sense that he doesn't believe half of what he says, but fundamentally, that's the guy's business model. I believe the people that get riled up believe it. I don't know if he believes it at all.
Right. So I guess that's my question, and I'll take it off the air. But yeah, like, are they noticing, and how are they going to counter this type of rhetoric? Because this is going to continue. It's going to be this kind of woke crusade, and every game that comes out is going to be just like, look what's happening, for example, to Slate Aspire, right? Like their rating went from like 90% to like 35%.
Oh, is that really what happened? Holy shit!
Yeah, but it's a great game. Okay, so
I don't even care about Slate Aspire at all, but yeah,
great game. They're a new one. I'll tell you my take real quick, and then I'm very curious about Gene's take. My take is just that I think there are going to be some companies that go, we're going to be less inclined to greenlight things that might be perceived as woke. So we'll see. It's kind of like it's like anything with this stuff. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But I think companies like Annapurna, this is probably good for Annapurna, frankly. Anytime you can make an alt indie product that has discourse and debate and disagreement is good for your brand. Even though it's kind of a pain. So that's what I would say. Gene, what are you seeing? Are you seeing anybody acquiescing to this or wanting to make decisions differently because of it?
No, I don't think so. I do know that Annapurna does see this. Some of their executives are on Twitter, but they have private accounts too. And they're like, yeah, this shit is stupid and crazy. So I don't think they're going to be bowed at all, Annapurna. And to be clear, I didn't receive any kit from Annapurna. I did receive a code from Annapurna.
I didn't get shit from anybody, which is fine.
Yeah,
but that whole paid shill thing. I'm sorry. Exactly. Go ahead. But what?
Yeah. Like I just got a review code. It's $20, man. Like, and I can just go on Game Pass and get it right now. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't get shit for anything. But what was I saying? But yeah, I think Annapurna does see this. I don't think anyone. How do we counteract it is a different story altogether. I think that's a deeper question on. That's a deeper question that we have to like hold to the platforms. The fact that they are incentivizing this. YouTube does this too. It's not just Twitter, although Twitter is uniquely bad, but YouTube TJ Smash has made his life on YouTube too, and it's the same thing. You see it all over the place. It's just all these social platforms are just incentivized to hit on our rage spots because division is profitable.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that,
the
and
best
that's,
thing, yeah, the only thing you can really do is like what Gene is doing is curate and cultivate an online experience. And I've done the same, not on Twitter, but other places. But I don't think the companies, though, to your question, Kenny, are going to change their games. I do think the bigger companies should.
Mhm.
Like I look at something like what these guys are asking for. Like if you look at it like a negotiation in business, you know, everybody has to compromise if you want to get something. And what these kind of, you know, Asmongold types are asking for is ridiculous. Like I don't want to see Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't like Horizon Zero Dawn, but regardless, I don't want to see Alloy dressed like a fucking playmate. They do. But I would not have a problem if Mary Jane in Spider-Man went back to looking like a really hot kind of girl who could grow into a supermodel, or Alloy could become, if you're going to cast it in a movie, you know, cast somebody who's kind of a real hot woman in the role. But that doesn't mean you have to make her a sex pot, right? Like we watched True Romance on our Discord yesterday. I haven't seen it since college. And I was like, oh my God, this movie's great. But like Rosanna Arquette in that movie, you'd be a moron if you didn't have a crush on her in that movie. But they didn't pimp her out like some kind of fucking penthouse centerfold. And I think I think there's value in going, if we are making these really expensive games, why not play to all the seats in the house? I think that's just good business. But I don't think what the Asmongold's are asking for is realistic, and I wouldn't want that in every game. But some games, sure.
Of course, and that's it. That's the most level-headed response. But unfortunately, that's not where. I wish once again how you posited that. It would be great if overall this is how the discussion was diluted, so to speak, so that way the younger audience could absorb this type of information.
Yeah, but
Because
they're not looking for
Right.
that. You know that, I know that. I've been doing my streams forever. Gene's been out there forever. Colin's out there. You know, not everybody out there is divisive, but that's what gets clicks, man.
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen.
All right,
thank
Kenny,
you
good
so
to see you,
much.
bud.
Thanks so much,
Thanks,
Kenny.
man.
Great
Good.
question. Thank you.
All right. Let's bring in before we bring in Wings, we'll bring in Nathan. You know, Wings of Redemption is Gene?
Wait. Wings of Redemption is here?
Yeah, you know Wings?
Yeah. What the
Okay,
fuck?
we'll bring him in a second, but let's bring in Nathan first. Nathan, it's Jaffe and Gene.
Hey guys,
What's up?
can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, sorry about that.
Yeah,
No, so I thought Kenny brought up some good points there, and I kind of am piggybacking on that. So I just wanted to get what you guys thought about this. I feel like it's almost as if the content of this game or any game like this that comes out and inspires this kind of conversation it's really not even important. What really spurred this entire thing was simply people seeing IGN giving it a 10.
Yep.
And I don't think there's any way to change this, because again, no matter what the game actually was or amounted to, that was never going to be the issue. It's that it got a 10, and now everything has to go into this framework of, well, why did they give this a 10 and not this game, or this game got a 7? And it's just this incredibly stupid discourse that gets to the point where now they're even arguing about whether or not it satisfies, you know, some imaginary criteria of what a game is, as if that's like even what they're interested in.
Right. Like who gives a shit about that?
Define it as an interactive experience with no fail states. It doesn't change the fact that like their primary motivated like issue here is that it received a score that they don't feel is commensurate with what it should get.
Yeah, I agree. I don't care what you call it. I mean, it means nothing to me what you call it.
Yeah, no, I agree too. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. I think that one of the pillars of this controversy is the fact that not just IGN, but it got 10s across the board from a lot of outlets. You know, a lot of people calling this a generational game, including our host herself, David Jaffe, which I disagree with. I disagree with. I think for me, I have an issue with games criticism sometimes being a little bit hyperbolic. You know, like we want the medium to be important, so we might find a game that does feel important, and then we will try to elevate that. I remember Grand Theft Auto 4 being compared to the Wire, right? And it's like that was interesting because that was what got me to watch The Wire. And when I watched The Wire, I was like, I'm sorry, this is a completely different tier of writing and art than Grand Theft Auto 4. So I do. So then when I read, oh my God, Mixtape is elevating the art form. This is one of my favorite experiences across any medium. I feel like there is some recency bias there in terms of like, you know, a desire to make games more than they are, or also like maybe you just kind of need to move away from the moment for a little bit and the hype or the feelings that you got from this game to kind of reflect and see where it fits into the bigger picture. So I understand kind of this discomfort from seeing the high scores. What I don't like, and I understand why they're saying this, but I think people need to understand that some people say like, oh, they gave this the same score as Ocarina of Time, you know, and it's like I don't think that that's what they're doing, where they're like, oh, this is as good as Ocarina of Time or Red Dead Redemption 2 or something like that. Like, and this goes back to like a misunderstanding of how people score things. This is a 10 for the genre of the game that it is, the type of game that it is, as a visual novel, interactive experience, or whatever like that. Like it's like in that feel, like this is they consider it the top, which I also disagree with too. But like that's where the review came from, and I feel like a lot of people misunderstand this.
Maybe you're also dealing with and I'm not making a joke. I know a lot of people use like autism these days as like a slight insult, and you know, my daughter's fiance is autistic. My son seems to be, according to him, a little bit, but and a lot of his friends are. But there is something I've noticed about neurodivergent folks of that type, that the numbers really matter, right? So to me, I just go, okay, it's a 10 to this guy, it's a 4 to that guy. I don't give a shit. Is the trash being picked up today, or is it recycling? That's all. I don't give a fuck what number you give it. But to people might be online with a little bit of autism and stuff, or a lot of autism, to them, that might be really important, how that gets categorized. And so I can't pretend to see the world the way they do, but yeah, I don't give a fuck what you rate the game. I will agree with you about the hyperbolic stuff. I hate that. And even in my little response, I said, this is just my immediate review. I may change it, but I fucking adore this thing. But I still hold my feelings on Starfield, which is, I get why a lot of people don't like Starfield. But for me, because the way I was raised with the love of space and Star Trek and Star Wars and all that, it hits different. And I don't need you to agree with my score. I don't know when that became a prerequisite to us being friends, but apparently it is.
Yep.
So, all right. Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right. See you, bud. He's off. Now I'm going to, Jordy, if that is actually you, Jordy gets a lot of trolls. Jordy's got a hell of a story that I think he was covered already in the New York Times, but he's got a lot of trolls. I need to see you on camera before I bring you on, Jordy, because I want to, or send me a DM to make sure that's really Jordy is Wings, basically.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to make sure it's actually him. Otherwise, I'm not going to bring him on, just because you got to be careful with these guys. Some of them are a little messed up in the head. But yeah, hit me up on the Discord, Jordy, or put your camera on real fast so I can see it's you, and I'll bring you on to the show. Otherwise, we have a super chat coming in from KP saying, I agree with your takes. The last game that elicited this much discussion was Blinks the Time Sweeper. You goddamn right. You goddamn fucking right. Yeah, he really wants me to play that goddamn game. Okay. All right. Yeah, but no, Wings and I have been doing a show over on Lolcal, so
I know
that's sort of. Oh, you know. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's, unless we get Jordy on here, if anybody wants to call in, that'll probably do it.
Well, shout out to Christina Tacey, the poster of those videos.
She really kicked off a lot of this.
Yeah. You know, and again, like, I mentioned this too. Like, if the story didn't connect with her, I totally get it. Like, then the rest of the game fucking sucks. You know.
It's not going to be for everybody. I mean, what?
It's just not going to be for everybody, and it almost wasn't for me. And honestly, like, I'm kind of like halfway there. So I totally get it. But I feel like it was effective, and I feel like the interaction part was important. So, oh hey, Christina,
I assume that it's going to be on a lot of because I saw you the other day tweeting about it sucks that we aren't going to see something like Tomodachi Life on Game of the Year list, and you're probably right, we won't, even though it is much more impactful.
Much more popular.
That's right.
Hitting people across the woke thing or whatever, like the woke spectrum and people who aren't woke or whatever. It's just fucking fun. But yeah, I have to imagine that if you didn't like the story, then this would be a miserable experience.
But the whole Game of the Year thing though is similar. I think people online take it real serious. I know that's what Keeley wants and everything, and the debate and the rage about this is good for it. But I kind of look at it and I just go, dude, who gives a shit? But yeah, I think this will be nominated. Tamagotchi Life will not. I think people will lose their minds if GTA comes out and it's even semi good. If that doesn't win, yes, please, thank you. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't you agree this is going to be on a bunch of Game of the Year list?
I think so. I think, and it's because it's a games media, like kind of funny loved this game, and so kind of funny is on the Game Awards jury, like other. If it did get a lot of high marks from the games media, then it's not because of Jeff Keighley likes this game. Jeff Keighley does not.
Yeah, no.
It's a meme. We can meme about Jeff Keighley doing this, Jeff Keighley doing that, but. Facts are facts. It's not Jeff making the nominations. It's the games media. So
and no one's. Let me ask you this: people are like, "Oh, industry plants." I'm like, okay, what they're saying? They're not talking payola because there's never been any evidence of that. I was at Sony. I wish there was payola. My last game would have been a hit. Okay, there's not.
I mean, there is payola going on though. There is.
In what way specifically?
Well, I mean, like the sponsorships, right? If you're being sponsored by Annapurna or whatever, then that's what it is, right?
But what does that mean? Sponsorships? Like you mean like?
Well, I'm talking about like
IGN.
I'm not talking about this game in general, but like in gaming in general, like.
No, give me an example. That's what I'm saying. Make up an example. Let's just say this game was what you were talking about. You're saying Annapurna would pay IGN?
No, not IGN, but influencers.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Not the media outlets, but. But there is also like a soft pressure, like because like people are friends in the industry, so you want to be nice to the people that at Annapurna, right? Like that is there though, because like you see the games journalist to games industry pipeline,
Oh, I hate it. Yes, I always hated it. Yes,
that does exist, and that is there, and that was. Again, I want to be clear. I was not involved in Gamergate. I was actually not even playing video games when Gamergate happened. I thought Gamergate was about ethics and games journalism. I thought it was about people worried about these connections that people were having within the games industry and having favorable coverage. Obviously, it blew up into something way worse and terrible. Yes. But from the outside perspective, I thought that was about that. I was like, oh yeah, sure. That makes sense.
That people are like, Jaffe, you're on record for supporting Gamergate. I said, no, what I said was, if Gamergate is simply about ethics and journalism, sure, then I support it if that's what Gamergate is. But I don't think that's what it was. And lo and behold, it wasn't. So
yeah, and it's about, and it's coming from people who know nothing about ethics and journalism. I'm literally a member of the Society of Professional Journalists. And that is the thing that people always keep citing whenever they talk about any ethical journalists, I'm a former writer for the Society of Professional Journalists. I'm in there. I know about ethics and journalism.
But the number of people on the things like IGN and stuff, it's a soft payola. You're saying for sometimes that will prevail.
Yeah, not payola, but it's just like biases, that might exist. But I mean, again.
But that's exists, everything, right?
That exists in media in general, like there would be a bias for the Trump administration for certain. Look, the fucking White House Correspondents' Dinner just happened, right? And
yes,
never mind the failed assassination attempt. I've been to the White House Correspondents' Dinner many times. I've been there 3-4 times, right?
Right.
When you go there, you see the crazy Trump people and the media that supposedly hates them or whatever, or they supposedly hate the media. They're all whining and dining and smoking and joking, giving each other hand jobs the whole time, Sean Spicer is super friendly with everybody in the media, but then he goes on TV and he starts attacking everybody.
Yeah.
It's all kind of a show, but there is like a connection networking bias that happens everywhere, and that could happen in games media too.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I'm not saying that there's some conspiracy. I'm just saying that that's just kind of a reality of certain things. But then that becomes this other wider conspiracy of like, oh, it's Gamergate. Oh, it's payola. Oh, there's
then maybe the takeaway for the audience might be, in the same way that you don't trust fully IGN because of what Gene is saying, you should probably also not trust the people that make money off
rage bait,
because they're
so
they're no more honest than IGN is. Then so maybe
they're way less honest than IGN is. Like I'm not saying IGN is doing this at all, but it's like I'm just saying that there might be soft biases that exist everywhere. I might have the same thing too. It's the same thing. It's the whole conversation with Xbox and the parasocial thing that they happen, right? Because Phil Spencer is but Phil Spencer is super nice to the journalists. So then the people are going to get along with him and everything like that.
Yeah, that's
the Trump administration is actually really nice to journalists. They're really, really nice to journalists. People don't understand this. Then
the journalists are doing a shitty job of expressing the Jekyll and Hyde issue. Bill Maher does it well. He says the guy that I see when I hang out with Trump on the rare occasions is not the guy you see on TV. But they do not say that on their fucking shows, and that should be called out.
Tucker Carlson, you think that he's a racist like troll the whole time? No, he's actually pretty nice in person.
Interesting.
But when he goes on camera, he's gonna turn. I mean, you've talked about it before with like Greg Miller,
Greg Miller,
Greg Miller like turns on a certain thing. That's everywhere,
Except here, I don't do it. I don't think you do it. Colin doesn't do it. Colin doesn't take codes.
Yeah.
At least as far as I know. I mean, I know he doesn't take codes. I know Colin as well as I know him. But so there are some people out there that are going to tell it to you straight. Jordy, then hit me up in Discord. I just want to be sure that this is the real you, and I'll bring you on. But I can't just click that without knowing it's actually you. All right, let's bring on Heather real quick. Heather, you're on with me and Gene. What's up, bud?
Heather. Can you hear us?
Heather, are you there, bud? In the meantime, I'll read the super chat. I agree with your Lockmort is here. Lockmort says Jaffe Gene Wings, Last Stand Media Sacred Symbol Plus episode when? I don't know. I am going on tomorrow. Sacred Streaming with Colin to take calls. We'll be doing that. But whenever they call, I come running. You know that. I hope you're well, buddy. Beat Saro, says Alex. Mixtape ain't my cup of tea. I love you, Gene, says Alex. Thank you, buddy. Amber Heard's Dung. Thank you, buddy. Says Jaffe, I'm going to be in San Diego in a few weeks. What are the best restaurants to eat? Little Italy, for instance. Can I come by and say hi? Nope. But I will hit me up on a different stream and I'll tell you where to go. Kind of. I'm not a big foodie, but I'll see what I can do. Christina Tasty says, here's some good faith. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you being cool
Christina,
with me.
thanks so much. Appreciate
Interesting to hear we both somehow have the same fave part, though. You got the touch. You goddamn right. Heather,
did she like that part too?
She said she did. That was her favorite part.
That's funny.
Yeah. Heather, I can't hear you. I'm going to kick you off. Come back if you get it fixed out. This is Ian. Ian, you're on with me and Gene. What's up, bud?
Mr. Bean fan. Oh, looks like his Wi-Fi is all the way down, so I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Hang on. I don't know. All right. Well, I'm hoping that we get Jordy's confirmation on Discord, but if not, we'll just let him go. So what's the next? Let me ask you real quick. We'll just give him a couple more minutes to respond, and then we'll wrap it if we can. I do have Twitch, yes, but I don't do Twitch that much. This is Wicked. You're on with me and Gene. What's up? Wicked
Ender. No,
this is working all of a sudden. What is the next big game you're playing? Can you say what you're working on?
Well, I am still working on my review of Crimson Desert.
Okay.
I did do a couple interviews for that, including Pearl Abyss. Are Wicked Ender connecting? No. Hello. And I also interviewed a professor of pop. Can you
All
meet
right.
us?
Ian, we can see you and hear you.
Nice. How you going, guys?
Good. You gotta turn your mute. You gotta mute us.
You gotta mute us on
On the computer.
Yeah. Because we're echoing.
Oh, sorry. I've got a pretty shit phone.
Alright.
Anyway, big ups to CWW.
I don't know what he said. Okay. Jonathan, it's Jaffe. What's up, bud?
Oh shit! Jesus Christ!
Whatever. Okay, let's see. Ian. Ian, what's up, Ian? All right, hang on. Ian, it's Jaffe. What's up, buddy? No, you can't make it work. I don't know. All right. Okay.
Oh, great! I saw it again on the delayed, the delayed feed. Wonderful.
Oh well,
Amazing.
Nothing you ain't seen before. Just a lot less healthy. Okay. That is okay. So you're playing Crimson Desert. You're doing that.
I'm not really playing it anymore because I feel like I'm kind of played it.
I liked your idea though of you saying you're not gonna try to beat other reviewers to the punch. You're gonna put stuff out when you feel like you can offer something. And
yeah. Well, I interviewed a professor of pop culture at a Korean university because I wanted to have like a real intellectual discussion about like Korean soft power across the world in terms of entertainment.
Right.
And this idea that Crimson Desert is like part of this push to make K content, K games, like we have K drama and K pop.
Right.
Like Korea wants to take over the world of entertainment, and the Crimson Desert is part of that push.
But it doesn't feel like K-pop. I mean, it comes from Korea, but I mean, I thought when you said that at first, I'm like, oh, we're gonna get like K-pop versions of games, like they're going to be bright and colorful and all that.
Well, here's the thing. This is a preview of my review. I do think that Crimson Desert is a K-pop song.
Really?
Yeah. Because did you listen to K-pop?
Only the main stuff, like obviously like Huntrix and all that shit.
Sure. Yeah. So when you listen to this stuff, you know enough, right?
Yeah.
When you listen to it, it's got R&B, it's got rap, it's got techno. It's got pop.
I get it. I get where you're going. Yep.
You get where I'm going. The K-pop formula is let's just take everything that's popular all around the world and why not put it into one thing? Because doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It totally does.
And let's just repackage it and sell it back to the world at a markup.
That's pretty good.
And then that's exactly what Crimson Desert is. Is like, dude, people love the fucking Witcher. People love Assassin's Creed. People love Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right.
People love Zelda. What are we doing? Why don't we just put all this shit together? It's obvious,
Interesting. So. And Stellar Blade came from South Korea too, right?
Yeah, but Stellar Blade is a little bit
more traditional,
more of a focus, and it wasn't as popular. So
that's true.
Consent should be 12. I did say the age of consent should be 12. I did say the age of consent should be 12. I did.
Oh, yeah. These are the Wings. What's funny about the Wings guys is, and this is, by the way, well, I can talk to you offline because there's some stuff happening behind the scenes on all this stuff that I think might be interesting, especially as it relates to the New York Times article and stuff.
New York Times article.
Well, Wings was covered in that. And then,
oh, really?
Yeah. And there's some, it's a better offline conversation to have just because, I mean, you may not have any interest in talking about it in your work, but I want to at least fill you in at some point because there's some motion happening on his side that's going to be really, really interesting. That has more to do with just Wings. It has to do with swatting and doxing and that whole culture.
Oh, 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. It's starting to heat up on stuff that's happening on his side. So, and some of the stuff we found has been really interesting as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I'll share that with you offline. It's kind of cool. All right, Gene. So what are you doing the rest of the day? What's happening in your life?
Going back to Tomodachi Life. I'm still not sick of that game. I played 115 hours of it actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've been locked in that game. That is definitely my game of the year. Absolutely. Even over Crimson Desert, because I just think it's way more. I think it's the best cozy game I've ever played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now
way better than Animal Crossing. Way better than Animal Crossing. I have played more hours of Tomodachi Life than I've ever played of Animal Crossing already.
I may finally pull the trigger on a Switch too because I know you can play Tomodachi on a 1.
Yeah.
But I want to play it on a 2.
The price is going up, and so you better get one before September.
Oh, is it going up in September?
Yeah, it's going up. So they're give you a nice long time to just buy one for $450 if you need to.
Got it.
But
Okay.
It's gonna be $500, which I think is a little too expensive.
What's the Pokemon one that everybody
Pokepia?
Is that one just kind of like eh?
That one is really good, and apparently I hear that it is better. It's also better than Animal Crossing. Only reason why I haven't played it is because it's the same developers as Dragon Quest Builders. And I played the hell out of that game already, so it's like I'm kind of good in the experience because what they basically did was it's basically Minecraft but with Pokemon.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Eternal Nothing. Nothing is wrong. What's wrong with having an attractive protagonist to look at while you're playing for hours? Nothing.
Nothing. We love
That's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the game Library? Tidy Up the Arcane Library?
No.
Okay. I need you to. Can I just show you a trailer before you go?
Sure.
It's very quick. Okay.
It's another cozy game. There's that game Incognita that came out, which is
Is it the Japanese store?
The Japanese convenience store.
I haven't played it. I've heard about it, but
I hear it's good. Yeah, it looks interesting. I will be playing Mortal Kombat 1 because I'm in a huge Mortal Kombat mood.
You mean the Mortal Kombat, the new
one that just
one, or
MK1, the one that just came out recently, whatever like that? Because they have DLC Chaos Reigns. I never played that, so I'm interested in getting that.
I may have to pick that up, man.
The movie was great. Kitana was so hot.
I was going to go see it today now, but then I'm like, oh, it's Mother's Day. I got stuff I got to do, but I'm going to see it. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah. Gene liked Mortal Kombat. That's all you need. Go goddamn see it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out this. This is, okay, let's see. This is the trailer for, speaking of, there's my ex calling. This is Librarian.
I'm interested to see if she likes Mixtape.
I am too. I am very curious.
Yeah. Also, the part of the reason why I'm not mad about Mixtapes is like interactivity is that like, I like Journey, all right, Flower. Those are seminal PlayStation classics. And Annapurna also published Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is a little bit more interactive than Mixtape is too, but it's very linear and it's very you're just kind of going down the track. And the fail state is you just go back a couple seconds, which is very similar to this too. And it was very musically driven, like it is very soundtrack driven.
Got it. Okay.
I like that game a lot better. That game I'll give a 4 stars completely. That game is a 10.
The heart Tokyo, what's it called?
Sayonara Wild Hearts. Yeah,
Wild Hearts.
That game is a 10 in my book.
They just put out a new game, right? That same team.
Did they? Oh shit.
Didn't they do a game like with water or something recently? Is what they just put out. I think.
If they have, then it sucks that I didn't. Simogo.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something.
Oh, they made Lorelei and Laser Eyes. What the fuck?
I want to play that. I heard that's really a unsung hit, and that was
I'm so stupid. Yeah, because I've been wanting to play that, but I didn't know that they made that. So okay, well I got to lock in and play that then.
So. This game is so batshit. It takes place in one library, one room, upstairs, downstairs, and all of these books have been thrown onto the floor by a fairy, and you have to basically find all the books and organize them in the right shelves, in the right order.
That sounds insane.
It's all it is. And like, so if you might find a book about, and it's all magic books. So it's like the Magic of Elves, volume 6. And you have to find all the volumes, put them in the right place, and then put them in the right order. And it is the most addictive, enjoyable little cozy game I've played.
Oh, that looks satisfying, actually.
It's very satisfying. You get a cup of coffee or hot chocolate, play it before bed. It's just, and you can unlock magic spells to make it easier, but if you have the desire to put things in place and organize them, it's quite good. It's quite good.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're shooting the books out like a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, this makes sense. And you're hoovering it up like a fucking gravity gun.
Yeah.
You're shooting, shoot the books.
It helps you.
Okay, yeah. I see the vision.
Yeah. I recommend.
Very insane, but I see the vision. Very well done.
Make a game about any goddamn thing out there. You know,
can, yeah. That's the fun thing. I mean, what the fuck is Tomodachi Life? Tomodachi Life has no gameplay. No gameplay.
Yeah. I mean,
But you're making a ton of decisions all the time, and that's the gameplay. So
yeah, and wouldn't it be great if we could just accept it and let people enjoy? I don't know, but I'm done. I'm getting off that train. I won't do it anymore. That's not humans. That's not how we work. I'm just going to focus on what's cool. That's the best you can do. It's the best you can do. Otherwise, you go crazy.
that is, yeah. I wonder what the next game would be though. I feel like Forza Horizon 6 is coming out.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for it, but I'm not going to review it though.
Right.
Because again, I have to think about other things. I am going to review Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day.
Oh, are you going to see it early?
Hopefully, yeah.
Man, so. I love Spielberg. I love the aliens. I am super duper fucking excited for that.
Spielberg is the man.
Yes, he is. Have you played Retro Rewind, or it's not your cup of tea?
What is that again?
It is a video store simulator.
So yeah. That looks interesting. I feel like I need for cozy games. I like to create my own spaces.
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh, okay.
There's one called 99 Rewind. That's not the one. This one is it's very similar to Bookstore Simulator. Okay. So you can kind of build it out and put up your own little sections. But if it wasn't for the thematic, it would just be any other sim game.
Yeah. Oh, people are recommending Dead as Disco. I've been playing that.
I didn't care for it. A lot of people love it though.
Oh, I love it. Did you play the demo though? Right.
I played the demo. Yeah.
Yeah. The demo was just the fight arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So the early access game now has levels and a story and
oh, okay.
Like that. And with its own original soundtrack, and I think that's worth playing because I think there is an interesting narrative. They do some cool stuff in terms of stage transitions between fights and everything like that. Really, really cool. The soundtrack is cool. I'm bitching about Mixtape having kind of a generic soundtrack because I'm tired of the 60s to 80s.
Yep.
I love music. I want to hear more modern music. And the reason why I'll give Sayonara Wild Hearts a 10 is because it created its own music, and music was wonderful. The reason why I like Dead as Disco better as a game is because it has its own music on top of being a brawler and everything like that. But I love also being able to put in my own soundtrack. So, I highly recommend Le Castlevania LED Spirals from the John Wick soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a song from John Wick 1 where he starts going fucking nuts in the Russian club and starts killing everybody. Put that into Dead as Disco, fucking gaming heaven, baby.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll go back. I'll try, because I know there's a new Steam Next Fest coming up, and if you're saying the new version is has levels and not just the arena,
it has levels, it has bosses, it has a story, there's dialogue. I think it's worth checking out. Copper the Brute, someone in the chat left that there. Copper the Brute is actually absolutely my playlist. There's a dance song in Katana Zero, another indie game.
Oh, that game is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I fucking love that game. Yeah, and there was one song that I remembered in the dance club, right? The dance club mission. Put that shit in Dead as Disco, fucking fire. I put in Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy. That shit's fucking awesome.
Right.
It's In Time with Smack My Bitch Up.
I'm trying to think. I have to go back and play it. I played it and there was something about the rhythm that it almost maybe felt like I couldn't quite I've played beats per minute and the Metal Hellsinger, and it works with the shooter, but when I was trying to do it with punching, it felt a little off, but maybe I don't know. I'll give another play if you recommend it.
I think it's a little tough, especially with were you putting your own songs in there?
No, I was not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's their own songs in there is able to match, but then when you put in your own songs, it be kind of tricky because there's time signature changes within the song, and then the game isn't just catching up. So
Gotcha.
you have to really pick the songs that are really consistently 4x4 beats or whatever like that.
That makes sense. All right, very last question. We'll wrap it up. My question for you, Jaffe, he's been asking this a lot in the chat. I wanted to get to it. Mm-hmm. You said the best games are systems-based games, and you criticize games for being movies. Why not criticize Mixtape for this? I don't know, because something that Mixtape... Now, I do think on the whole, the best games are systems-based games, but that's using the definition of games as we understand it. If somebody wanted to call this an interactive drama, if somebody wanted to call this a visual novel, I don't really care what you call it, but as a 3-hour narrative experience, it lands, it works, and I'm glad it's interactive. But I don't want this to be a desert island game, because I'd get bored of it. You know, it's not designed for that. So I think it just depends on the definition of game. And I'm not in that fight with people where it's like, this isn't a game, it's a this. I'm like, okay. But again, that may be that kind of autistic thing where some people, the numbers have to track.
The categorization of this as a game is disturbing because, you know, like I already have it in this one set, you know.
That's right. And again, I've gotten better at appreciating that sometimes people aren't just trolls. That's just the way they see the world. And if you see the world that way, I can understand your complaint, in which case I would just call this an interactive movie and move on. But I don't really care what it's called. It's great is what I'll say. All right, Gene the Bean gets the last word.
Oh, that's me. Keep an eye out for my Crimson Desert review. Keep an eye out for my Drake Iceman review. I don't know if this is the right audience for this, but you know,
some of them, yeah. A lot of people are here for you, Gene, not me. So absolutely. That's coming out
May 15th.
This week.
Yeah.
And you've already listened to it, or you haven't?
I haven't listened to it because nobody listened to it. There's been a rollout. What these rappers have is an album rollout, and then in Toronto he had an ice sculpture that would have just melted, and in the middle of it was the release date of the album. Okay. But you know, as part of the viral marketing of this, like it's just a bunch of streamers going there and like picking away at it, trying to burn it and everything like that. Right. And then one streamer got to it, and it turned out to be May 15th. And okay,
so you're actually going to hear it when? On May 15th?
Yeah, just with everybody else, basically.
And you'll just release. You'll write the
review. There are no preview codes for fucking the music. You know, like
right.
And these people are usually recording until the last minute, probably. You know.
But are you feeling the same? Are you feeling pressure in music to get the review out sooner, unlike games?
Oh, I think so. I think this one I need to get out sooner.
Okay. So how much time do you give yourself to go, I like it or not? Like sometimes an album takes a while, right?
Yeah, it takes a while, but like it'll just have to be like the first listen, basically. You know, I'll just have to listen to it. Thankfully, that will just be like an hour or so, right? It's not going to be a fucking game. It's not. It's going to be shorter than Mixtape, even.
Right.
So thankfully, I can do that. So I could listen to it twice or 3 times, but
right.
You know, just to make sure that I get all of it. But you know, I have reviewed music before, and you know, the whole reason why I got into journalism in the first place is because I wanted to cover music.
Well, I have never listened to any Drake music, so I will read your review in the Washington Post, and if it's good, I'll listen to it.
I would say that you might have heard some songs, but then like that's like
know.
like maybe in like the store or something like that. Like
right,
if you went to the clubs, then you would absolutely know. But yeah, if
Gene,
you don't, then
Gene.
Yeah.
Do I look like I go to the goddamn clubs?
Yeah.
I
do.
So
I do.
I know you do. I know
that's why Drake was an important part of my life, because he has this stupid song called "Started from the Bottom."
Okay.
And you know, it's about, you know, that it says right there, started from the bottom and now we're here. And that was like my theme song, you know, because I was like, oh, I started from Guam and now I'm here at the Washington Post.
Right.
But then when you listen to the lyrics, like, you know, you hear other rappers, you know, they come from like really hard backgrounds, you know,
right,
really tough backgrounds. And but when in this song, his started from the bottom is like, hey, he's borrowing his uncle's car, and his uncle wants the car back.
That's his bottom.
That's a struggle. That's the bottom right there for him.
Okay.
And that's like the only thing that he mentions from his past life, like in the song. So like when you're in the club, you're like, yeah, I started from the bottom. You're totally turned up and you're like feeling it. But then when you actually sit down with the song and you listen to what he's saying, you're like, wait, that's it? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You made it sound epic, but
yeah, it's like the rapper version of Born in the USA. It's like, that's not really what that's about. All right. Seriously, you guys, Gene's great. Washington Post, go over there, subscribe, click on one of his stories if you're going to subscribe, because he gets credit for it. But he writes good stuff, man. It's really, it's not the same kind of stuff you're used to. It's thoughtful, it's educated, it's actual journalism about pop culture, which is good stuff. I'm glad you're feeling better, Gene. That's awesome. It makes me very happy to see you. I hope to see you more, but in the meantime, be well. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, as always, man. Good to catch up with you, buddy.
You as well. Have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon, Gene. All right, there he goes, fellas. I have a few more minutes. I'm always worried about keeping Gene too long. Obviously, because let me bring him back on. He's there. I didn't want to kick you. I'm going to leave in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
All right, but I can leave though, right?
No, you can, but I didn't want. I worry because I know your capacity is still, you're getting back.
I am a little tired and winded right now. Too,
right.
yeah,
So I just want to
I'm
make
good.
sure I wasn't
I
being
appreciate it.
disrespectful. Okay. All right. Thanks, Gene. Yeah. So I'm only going to stay on for another 5 minutes or whatever. But if you guys have any questions or want to talk, I'm certainly here if you want to do that. But I enjoyed that, man. That was great. I always like talking to Gene, man. And then again, tomorrow I'll be on with Colin, doing sacred. Well, I'll be on with Jordy and Tech in the morning, 7 a.m. California time, doing crypt. And then at 7 to 8 to 9, I think it's 11, but I'll, whatever. I'll be on with Colin over on Last Stand Media doing sacred streaming, and we'll be doing call-ins over there. But the call-ins over there work through the Discord. So you're a cool dude, Gene, says Amber Heard. Let's bring acceptance to guys playing cozy games. I love cozy games, baby. I don't need acceptance. I don't need a goddamn person to validate my shit. Cozy games bring me a great deal of joy. I love them. I fucking love them, man. So I'm with you. I'm with you, pal. Okay. Jaffe says Loud Pack. Oh, I did see that, Loud Pack. Yes, I know. No worries, buddy. Don't even take your time. Not even a thing, baby. Feel better. I hope your wife feels better. Machine XP, thank you. 29 months, Gods of War, my favorite duo. Jaffe, keep the fire. Always. I don't know any other way. Well, I can't say always. What I can say is I've always had it. I've always kind of been this way, and things change, but so far seems pretty stuck in my ways. How was Mixtape? I loved it. It is my absolute favorite fucking game. One of my favorite. It's in my top 5 of all time. I adored it. And like Gene was saying, you got to give yourself a little bit of time. So I don't know if that will change. But so far, man, it's sticking. I want to play it again. Radic says, Jaffe, are you worried about the creative overhaul for Twisted Season 3? No, not at all. I mean, I've loved Season 1. I'm almost done with Season 2. We're watching it in the Discord with Rocker Matt. But so far, so good. And I actually kind of like the idea that if they do a kind of Twisted, I'd love to see them do what we did with Twisted Metal 2. And the next time we came back, it was Twisted Metal Black. I think that would be the coolest fucking thing in the world. And suddenly it's like American Horror Story becomes the tone, and it's no longer kind of a goofy kind of campy thing. It's like dark as fuck. I think that would be super fucking meta. Actually, I would be all into that, man. But yeah, so okay, you guys, if your mom is still around and you're talking to her, mine's not. She hasn't been around for a while. Give your mama a phone call and tell her you love her. Or don't. I don't give a shit. Do what you want to do. The point is, I miss my mom. I wish she was still here. She was crazy, but she was very supportive and loving. And if you are a mama, thank you for all you do. Unless you're a shit mom, then go fuck yourself. Take better care of your kids. That's it. That's all I got. Be well, be safe, and I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow on a bunch of streams. I might be putting a video up today, so keep an eye out for it. If you would, I would appreciate it. Consider a membership, a subscription, a super chat, a super thanks, all that good stuff. All right, I'm out. Bye, you guys. See you soon. I can just click the right goddamn button. The right goddamn button. Boom.